Welcome, Bailey Scholars. We'll get started in a few minutes here. My name is Miss Caitlin, so as soon as you guys settle down, we'll get going on the presentation, okay? Alrighty, looks like you guys are all seated. So just a couple rules before we get started. If you guys have a question, just go ahead and raise your hands for me. That way I can hear you when you ask your questions instead of just shouting them out. And then secondly, we do have some live animals here, so when we come around and let you guys touch them, just be very gentle, okay? Alrighty, then we'll get started. So the first animal that we're going to get started with is guinea pigs. How many of you guys have a guinea pig at home? A couple of you. Good. Hamsters? Yeah? What can you tell me about them? Make sure you guys raise your hands. They are rodents. Very good. Okay, so our first friend out here, this is Ben. Ben is about 10 months old. This is Ben here. Can you guys tell me anything about his mouth, his teeth, perhaps? How many teeth does he have? Does he have a bunch like me and you? No, he only has a few. Guinea pig's teeth can actually grow nonstop, like a lot of different rodents. So he has to constantly chew on things in order to make sure that his teeth don't grow too long. Otherwise, his teeth would be all the way down to the ground. And then how would he be able to walk? He wouldn't. Have you guys noticed the different noises that you hear them making? Guinea pigs are really social creatures, so they like to be pet and they like to have a friend, which is why I have Jerry here. Jerry's about a year old. Jerry's a little more skittish than Ben. This is Jerry. And they are brothers, so they love each other very much. And it's good that they both have companions because they're really social and they talk to each other all the time and they talk to me and they demand food. What do you guys think that these guys eat? Not pizza. You hear that? That's Ben purring. That means he likes what I'm doing. I'm petting him. Guinea pigs actually like to eat vegetables. Lots and lots of vegetables. You guys should take after them. I'm sure your parents would be thrilled if you guys came home and said you wanted to eat like a guinea pig, because then they wouldn't have to yell at you to eat your vegetables. Okay, this has been fun. Now I can talk to you about my service. The reason I did this is because the service that I did this semester involved outreach events for children. And Jerry just ate my piece of paper. Let's pause and put them away. Okay, guys. Alright. So, like I was saying, my service involved outreach events. With the Fisheries and Wildlife Club that I'm involved in, I'm co-chairing the outreach committee with another girl in the group. And so I did lots of different events throughout the semester, but I'm just going to focus on some of the recent ones. So Science Festival was here on campus, and so kids from elementary schools of all different grades came onto MSU's campus and toured all around. Different groups and professors and clubs put on presentations for them. So the Fisheries and Wildlife Club, we did fun with fisheries and wildlife, and we have a box basically full of taxidermied animals, and we teach them about Michigan mammals, so mammals that they can find in their backyard or when they're camping with their family and whatnot. So we go through and we ask them to identify them. Is it a predator or a prey? Is it what do they eat? Any weird facts, fun facts about them. So a beaver, how his teeth don't stop growing, just like guinea pigs. So although I did live animals with you guys right here to show you how it works, we do it with dead animals because we can't have a live possum running around the room. So this goes along with Fisheries and Wildlife Club, kind of like their motto, so natural resources, exploration, and education. Education is a big aspect of the field of fisheries and wildlife, and it's something that I want to go into. Outreach and education are necessary in order to have natural resources in the future for future generations. My service was valuable to the Science Festival. They wouldn't be able to put on Science Festival without all the help from the students and faculty who put on the programs for the kids. And I think that program is really valuable because not a lot of kids are interested in science or involved in science, and part of that might be because of the way it's taught in schools. If they are involved, it's more so in elementary school, and then they lose interest or they never liked it to begin with. So if we can get them to really like science, think science is cool right from the get-go in elementary school, then maybe they can carry that interest with them throughout middle school and high school, and then perhaps pursue a degree in college that is in the science field. Some things I learned throughout my service was not all kids like animals. It's kind of hard for me to comprehend a little bit, considering I grew up with a bunch of animals at home, and I couldn't imagine living without some pets or without going to the zoo and loving every minute of it. But some kids just aren't interested in them. Some kids are afraid. We had a student who was very vocal about how he didn't like any of the animals we were showing him to. And we just bantered back and forth with him and basically said, you know what, we're going to find an animal that you like. We're going to find an animal that you think is interesting. Just you wait. And we ended up finding one. He really enjoyed the gray fox pelt that we had. So that was really exciting to see him actually enjoy something instead of being sassy back to us about how skunks are smelly and stupid. Another thing I learned is that kids are great at asking questions. Way better at asking questions than undergrads. I don't know about you guys, but I've been in class and the professor asked, does anyone have questions? And they're like waiting, and they would really like to answer some questions because they see that blank look on your face that it went right over your head, and no one ever raises their hand. Kids are the complete opposite. As soon as an idea pops in their head that they're confused about or they wonder about, their hand shoots straight up into the sky and they are asking anything that they can think of. However, younger students, so second graders perhaps, when we ask them if they have any questions, a lot of times we get stories like, oh, Miss Caitlin, one time I saw this squirrel in my backyard and it was eating a nut, and then a bird swooped down and grabbed it, and then a fox grabbed the bird and ran into the woods. And so we get some like really crazy cool stories like that, and some of them are probably true, and it's like, oh, that's great, and you just tell them that's good. And other times they're a little sketchy and you're like, wow, I did not know a skunk could eat a fox. That's crazy. Stuff like that. So it's fun to have questions like that. And even the stories, although they can get annoying at times, it's good to have. And then another thing I learned is that students do not pay attention at all when they are hungry. They get jittery, they talk to each other, they don't raise their hands, they just do not want to have anything to do with the presentation while they are hungry. And that really plays into making sure every child has breakfast before they come to school, and then they have a good lunch, and then they go home and have another meal, they have dinner. And I think that there are a lot of opportunities and programs that help students who may not be able to get a good meal at home, but to me it just really, to see it in action, to be interacting with kids and to see how when it's about to be lunchtime they need to just be done and go eat lunch because they're hungry, it really just puts into perspective how important those programs are that provide good meals for kids that are in school. And it is something that I would like to learn more about, or perhaps volunteer, maybe at a food bank or something. I did that once over the summer, so it would be really good to go back and do that. To me, service means taking time out of your day to do something that is not for you. Although you do get a lot out of service, at least I do, it's not, you don't specifically go and do it just for yourself. You don't get any money out of it, you don't get anything else out of it. It's just to go help someone else. or a group of people. And then I value service for the learning opportunities that it provides, as well as the character building that you get out of it. There are so many different volunteer opportunities, and you don't have to wait until you have to have service hours for Bailey or for a club or for something else in order to get out there and volunteer. A lot of times it's fun, and you really end up learning things that you wouldn't learn by staying home on a Saturday watching cartoons in the morning. It's a good opportunity to get out of the house and do something, and it always ends up making you feel good after. So even though, like I said, you don't get something out of it per se, you really end up getting something out of it. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, so this is my service video. Thanks for watching. Bye.